Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, please consider pressing that red button down there to subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. Now, in today's video, we're gonna talk about one of SYM's most intriguing little scooters. It's a scooter that doesn't say much, but a lot of thought has gone into its design, its production, the way it's made. But let's go somewhere with a little bit more shade so we can talk about it a little bit more.
Different life, deep connection, lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be a final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive.
Now, you may be thinking, what is this? Just a second. Put the helmet in its place. You may be thinking, what is this? Well, this is the smallest, most compact, most maneuverable scooter the SYM makes. This is the SYM Mio. Now, in the SYM lineup, it has its own special place. For the really extremely crowded city, there is no scooter that can crisscross through traffic like this one can. It has the most narrow of handlebars, the most narrow of fairings, the shortest length, the lowest seat. But to get all of that, the most of everything, or the littlest of everything, they had to think outside the box a little bit. So let's go around this scooter and see what exactly have they done to make it so small, so compact, and yet still be extremely useful as a scooter. Now, up front, we have a center mounted headlight on the fairing, a daytime running light, and LED turn signals. Really small 10-inch wheel, 90 by 90 by 10 inches. It's kind of cute. My hand for comparison. And also what we see up front is a very big turning angle for the handlebars, which makes it extremely maneuverable, considering how small it is to have such a wide angle. A wide turning angle for the handlebars makes it extremely easy around in and around very tight quarters. Also, on the other side, we have the tiniest of disc brakes, but extremely effective, considering this scooter is about just shy of 100 kilograms wet and ready to ride. That's right, under 100 kilograms. Now, in terms of dashboard, we have an LCD dash which shows us the total kilometers, the trip meter, the time, the voltage in the battery, again the total, the fuel meter, and our speed, and also some idiot lights up here. We have fuel gauge, high beam, turn signals, oil check, and check engine. On the left side we have high and low beam, we have our indicators, and we have our horn. Dinky little horn for a dinky little scooter. On the right side we have the engine start button. Big wide mirrors so you can have excellent visibility. Now, another thing that SYM has done, because the scooter is so small, they couldn't put the fuel tank in the back under the seat, because basically you wouldn't have any storage left. So the fuel tank is in the floor here. You fill it up with, you turn the key, press it and turn it, and this is where you fill it up. It's beginning to be a bit of a habit for SYM to put fuel tanks under the floor, and that's actually pretty nice. Also, we have a small little glove box. As you can see, we have a USB 5V 2A outlet with quick charge enabled, and the smallest of glove boxes. But I want to try this out. You can still fit a phone inside, no problem. So it may be small, but it's useful. Also a luggage rack, so you can have a bag of groceries and just stick it there. In terms of under-seat storage, it's actually pretty big. Unfortunately, it's not too deep, so it's very hard to fit a helmet inside. Even my jet helmet doesn't fit. But what I like to say is that it's big enough for some shopping, for a handbag, for a laptop, for something like that. The battery is back here, and for your helmet, if your helmet comes with the D-Link, you have two nipples here, and you can put your helmet there, close the seat, and now your helmet is locked in place, like I have. We have a small little grab rail here for the passenger, because yes, this seat can accommodate two passengers. The passenger has his own foot pegs. Underneath, we have in this model a 50cc injection motor with around 3.5 horsepower. You can also get it with a 115cc engine that puts out, I think, somewhere in the region of 9 to 10 horsepower. That's actually pretty quick for such a light scooter. It's a pretty big engine for such a light scooter. In the back, we have full LED tail lights and turn signal lights. We've got a single-sided swing arm, a monoshock on one side, the air cleaner, the transmission. We do get a center stand and a side stand, but it's the kind of side stand you have to hold with your leg when you put the scooter down. It goes into the position, you set the scooter down, and then you put it a little bit back, and it goes like this. When you get on, it flips up automatically. So you may be thinking, how does it ride? Well, let's find out. Alrighty, let's get this bad boy on, well, actually not the road because it is not registered, but around the yard we can have a little bit of fun with it. Considering it's so small, the yard is plenty big enough. Fuel injected, nice startup. The first thing when you get on it that you feel is just how small it is, just how tiny it is. And what that allows you is to feel immediately at home with it. Now the small wheels do hinder on such a surface, such a rough surface that we have here in the yard. But what I do like is the small weight, the very tight turning circle. Basically this is as wide as a lane of traffic, and with no problem, brakes, feet down, maximum lock. Also, because it's so light, the engine doesn't feel underpowered, even in 50cc form. It feels pretty much adequate for this scooter for city riding. It makes it actually quite a lot of fun, because you can chuck it about left and right because it's so light and so nimble. So although it is one of the smallest scooters in SYM's lineup, it can still be a very practical city scooter. You have enough space here in the floor area to put a pretty decent bag. The under seat storage is more than adequate for the size of the scooter. So if you're looking for a very small, so let's say you live in the center of a city, a very congested city, one of those small European cities with very tight roads, and you want something that you can get around as fast as possible through as tight as possible places, and you're not interested in long trips, long distance riding, this is one of your best options. I mean, cities like Athens, for example, the old part of Athens, are extremely tight with extremely small and narrow roads, and this thing will just get around them probably as good as a bicycle, except you're not pedaling, you're just turning a throttle and you're riding 30 kilometers an hour or 40. Quite a nice little machine. Let's go in the shade a little bit. So this is it, the little Mio 50. So if you are looking for a small little scooter, this fits the bill perfectly. If size really matters and you want to be as small as possible, you're very hard pressed to find something smaller than this, but with still quite a lot of functionality. I mean, look at it. Just look how small it is. Even here, the handlebar basically comes up to my waist. So, small scooter for very tight city riding, or maybe if you're vertically challenged. If you're like 150 millimeters tall, 1.50 centimeters, this is actually a very good option because the seat is extremely low and the scooter is extremely light. So maybe ladies, I know some of you are quite short, this is a good option. Not necessarily 50cc. If you get the 115 engine size, it's actually pretty good. It has about 10 horsepower. For such a light scooter, it will go 100 kilometers an hour, no problem, and it will keep that speed all day long. So this has been it for this video from me and the little SYM Mio. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Drop a like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, it really helps me out a lot. And take care out there and ride safe.